Welcome back, YouTube. We have another Dropzone Commander battle report for you today. And as you can tell by our blue markers on all the buildings, we will be playing Recon today. The Scourge versus the United Colonies of Man, 2,000 points. We will be introducing a couple of the new rules. Well, mainly just one, air traffic controllers, but rule in the Recon quest. By the time this video is posted, that'll probably be old news, but right now that's still something very new for us. So the book releases tomorrow, and if you don't have it, 2 weeks from now when you see this video, you should have it. So the Scourge will be along this street, deploying on this side of the table, and the UCM will be deploying down this side of the table. We'll be right back with army lists, and then we will jump straight into the action. We'll walk you down the armies now. For the UCM half, for the command group, we have a Kodiak with a level 4 commander and a Ferrum drone base. We have an infantry formation, an armor formation with 3 sabers in a condor and 3 rapiers in a condor. And then for their second support slot, they have 2 longbow howitzers in Raven Bees. We have two units that are exactly the same there. This armored group is the same setup. We have an air wing with 2 individual archangels, special forces with 4 wolverines and 2 bases of praetorians in a raven. We have our first infantry group here, which is a condor, or a eagle gunship with 2 groups of 2 legionnaires in ravens. And then for our infantry group, we've got 2 groups of 3 legionnaires in bears that are in a condor. And then for the Scourge half, to start off with, we've got the command group. We have the Desolator with a level 2 commander. We have the Annihilator with a level 5 commander. We have our second group here is a scout group. It's just the 8 minders with the 2 intruders. We have an armored group that is 9 hunters, which are all mounted in a despoiler dropship. In the back there we have 2 groups of 2 warriors, which are in a pair of intruder alphas. We have 3 reapers that are attached to them with a dropship for them as well. We have 2 groups of 3 warriors in marauders, or in invaders, which are in a marauder, and then another group of 3 reaper AA grav tanks in a marauder. And then for our occupation force, we have 2 groups of 4 prowlers in intruder Bs, and then we have 2 stands of destroyers, which are mounted in intruder alpha. So those are armies, and we will be back once we finish the first turn to let you see how things are turning out to begin with. Turn 1 has ended. The Scourge deployed their reapers and a group of minders here. We got infantry across the center, there, and there. We dropped out the Annihilator and the Desolator on the flank, moved up the Prowlers and the Destroyers to the center there, and then dropped the Hunters out of the despoiler here. The other infantry, like I said, dropped out here. Invaders tucked behind the building. The UCM brought the Ferrum on there and went ahead and brought the drones to the center. AA tanks here, down here in the corner, Kodiak, and the 2 light formations of infantry with the Wolverines. The big group all dropped out into the central building. Down here, the Eagle gunship rolled on and fired its shots down to this corner, which knocked 4 points and out of this building and killed 3 guys. The sabers deployed here and here, and the longbows obviously deployed out there. There's some more behind the building there in the middle, and the bears condor back there in the back. So that's where we're at right now. No points scored, obviously. We're just starting to possess the buildings. We will be back after turn 2. Turn 1 has come to an end, or turn 2, I'm sorry. The hunters moved up here and wiped out those sabers. They fired a couple of shots at one of the rapiers, but they emerged unscathed. The rapiers returned fire here and knocked 2 damage points out of the despoiler. We lost this entire infantry group to the building collapsing. This one rolled a demolition charge, booby trap, so I lost that objective and a couple of guys. Found a point here, found a point here. So Scourge came out with 2. The UCM found a point there, an objective there, a point there, So they have 4 to my 2 coming into the next turn. They have moved to the center building through an underground monorail card. Here, I jumped with the wounded infantry. The Praetorians moved over to CQB me, and I barely had range to sneak around the AA web with the destroyers. So they were able to get in there to lock up in the CQB as well. Let's see, what else happened? Down here, we moved out everything and dropped our prowlers and surrounded up the artillery in the AA. And the Desolator fired his energy 13 shot and destroyed one of the sabers. So, also I played a Jink and Weave card on the Hunters, so they have a +2 accuracy modifier against them right now. We lost both of the intruders to these, +2 of them. Took 2 damage points out of that Marauder, lost one of the Reapers when we dropped them, and lost the Marauder here to 1 Archangel. So it was not a very friendly turn for the Scourge. Needing this initiative roll for turn 3. Right now it is 4-2 in favor of the UCM, and we will be back after turn 3. Alright, to sum that turn up, if anything could have gone wrong for the Scourge, it pretty much did. The only thing we got right, the Prowlers were champions. They came out down here, half of them fragged the artillery, half of them fragged the sabers. Other than that, I'm just going to keep looking at this end of the table. The rest of it was junk. 9 Hunters. You see these 2 rapiers? They're still alive. Nothing went right. I don't know what to say past that. I've found 1 piece of intel. He found another objective. I'm not sure what the score is, but it's reaching the point of critical mass. I don't think there's anything I can do. He fired. He killed everything he shot at. My Reapers moved up, fired 2 shots at the drones, and didn't destroy either one. We did manage to knock them out of their light dropship. Annihilator still didn't have a target, so he picked up and moved. He's not going to have a target next turn either. Desolator didn't have a target. Lost a Predator or a Hunter to missile launchers from this building. Like I said, if it possibly could have gone wrong, it did. I'm going to play it out and see where we end up. But I mean, this one I think is in the UCM's hands. So we will be back after turn 4. We're about to start 4? Yeah. We'll be back after turn 4. Hopefully something will go right this turn. We did have a pretty bloody melee here. We ended up locking up in CQB with the Destroyers and the Praetorians. Got 4 Praetorians in exchange for 3 Destroyers. So that's where we're at right now. We'll be back after turn 4 to show you how things are winding down. Alright, turn 4 breathed a little new life into the Scourge. The UCM were up 5-3 going into the end of last turn. They were holding an objective they were going to get off. We turned the building upside down to showcase the location. The Hunters and their dropship, I won activation. I rushed them over here and they managed to cave that building by 2 damage points. I doubled on almost every die. And they crushed it, buried the objective and the squad inside. So that brought it back 4-3 in the UCM's favor. I was able to move over here into this building. He shot this building with enough fire to probably have 12 to 15 points out of it. Not enough if I win activation this turn to keep me from getting away with that point, but if I lost activation, it was enough to leave me with no hope of getting to roll. But dice went poorly there. Where they went well down here on the other flank in the first turn, they went incredibly poorly for him there, so no damage much dealt. These guys turned on the speed boost, got lucky and dodged some shots from these and him, and moved up the street to drop off for a turn 6 search. This swung back in my favor. He wounded me 4 times, wounded him 4 times. He failed all of his dodges, and I made all of my passives. Luckily, he made his fortitude, so we're still stuck in. We both did a little bit more damage here. There's still a rapier in the street. The Desolator moved up with his Ion Storm and destroyed one of them, but the other one's still there. What am I forgetting? I think that about covers it. I lost all the Minders. They were able to move over here and cut a couple of drones out, and then the Wolverines moved up and said that was enough of that. So that's where we're at right now. Turn 5, it is 4 points to the UCM and 3 points to Scourge. This is going to be a close one. So stick around. We will be back with turn 5 results in just a moment. Turn 5 has drawn to a close, and the UCM has decided not to pursue turn 6. We did a few fast dice from there. Somebody asked me in the comments a few games back if they had seen me lose yet. I said I've only lost one game since I started doing the battle reports, and that I'd rather be lucky than good any day. This should have been another loss, but I got lucky. There's no other way to say it. I mean, I got lucky with the final rolls here as we were getting ready to wind up, and that's all I can say. I mean, everything that turn that I needed to go right did. I held these Praetorians in combat here so they were unable to get out and go for another run. Not only did I hold them, but I did them 4 damage, they did me 4 damage. I made all 4 passives, they failed all 4 dodge saves. The infantry down here found an objective. They carried it down to their transport, and I left it on the table to show, but it did have range with its move to get off the table. So I carried that off before he could react here, and I mean, he had the drones here. We've picked them up already. He had his ravens, his eagle. They were all in position to do some damage there to try to stop that invader, and it didn't work out. The other squad got in this building, and even at that, it's 6-5, so he was thinking, you know, well, I've got my other infantry, so I can at least get them back on the table. He needed a 2+ to bring them back from reserves, and he rolled a 1. If he hadn't rolled a 1, you know, we fast diced some stuff just to make sure, did just the things that absolutely had to be done, and even if he had gotten them back, the building there got raised, so he would have had to come into this one, and then if he finds that, because we were thinking, you know, well, maybe these infantry can get to that one. And they did have range, but with that building down there being destroyed by the hunters turning around and going back to shoot, that leaves just this building. And then we just rolled just to see, and he found a point there, but these guys found a point here. So that would have still made it 7-6. So he went ahead and called it there, 6-5 Scourge Victory. We'll have after action thoughts and army lists at the blog website, which is linked below. And as always, guys, we appreciate you watching. One of these days, he's going to get me. He's going to get me again, but this should have been it, but I got lucky. So we will be back with more. And we thank you guys for watching.